Welcome, everybody, to the sixth episode of A Dash of Salt. To my right, as always, we have the hilarious, beautifully wonderful Robert Highwind.
Hello, hello.
How are you today, my man?
A dash indeed. I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good, I'm good. It's been a long day, kind of talking a little
Yeah.
bit, but I'm glad we're finally doing this. And I love your
Yeah, me too,
background. I
man.
love this.
Thank you. I have a green screen behind me. I don't have any like I don't have this is all in my living room. I have a
Hmm.
wall behind me. I don't have like things up or anything like everyone else, like cool little so everything's virtual.
No, hey,
The virtual couch, the virtual living room, it's all there.
I know I love it. I love the retro style too, the like 80s. Like I don't know if
Yeah,
that's what you're going for, but it just reminds me of like
100%.
Vice City, like
Yeah, I love synthwave, man. That's
okay,
my thing
awesome.
right
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like every time I
Um,
play like Cyberpunk, I had to throw on the synthwave
Hell
music and
yeah.
stuff. So
Hell yeah. Yeah, it's definitely my jam.
so
My stream used to look a lot more synthwavy before I
oh, did
like
it?
rebranded. Oh yeah, I had like waves and like all of the classic synthwave looking things. Like it was all over it, and then slowly like kind of like mellowed it out to like become more quote unquote on brand.
Nice.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Well, like to begin with, how about you tell everyone a little bit about yourself? Who is Robert Highwind?
Well, I'm a streamer, content creator, all around goof arounder. My whole thing is like I'm trying to have fun. I'm trying to laugh, trying to joke around. Like I've always been in my like circle of friends, the funny guy. Um, so I that's it basically what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make people laugh, entertain as much as I can, all the meanwhile playing video games because I freaking love video games. I grew up on it. Um, and like the whole idea of just because like I always had it in my idea. I want to do something creative or like with video games or something. I just didn't never knew what. And then when
Mm-hmm.
quarantine hit last year, was it last year? It was last year. Okay. Time.
Yeah.
What is time?
For real though.
uh Last year when it hit, my hours got cut. I found out I had a lot more downtime. And so I was like, you know what? It's literally either now or never. I'll never have a better opportunity than now to just try it. So then tried it, went on Mixer. That was a mistake,
Mixer, wow, that seems like so long ago now.
right? For me, like I started on
R.I.P.
Mixer, big RIP. Started on Mixer, and a month later, they're like, "We're done. We're selling it to Zuck is eating this
Yep.
up."
It's like, yeah, we gave most of our revenue to two people, so sorry
Yeah,
guys. Oops.
yeah, 30 million or whatever the hell it ended up being for both of them. They're like, "We got nothing. We're
It
done."
props to those two guys though. Hey, Shroud
Oh
and
yeah.
Shroud and Ninja made out like
Oh
bandits.
my God. Just quickest like money, like better than any like athlete ever. Like for 1 year they just sat playing video games and made like 30 mil,
Yep.
10 mil a piece. Unreal.
No, that's super
Like
awesome.
Microsoft didn't even try to like fight it or whatever. They're like, you
No.
know what? Pay out. Peace out.
I think they were so big at that point and their branding was so big that it
Mm,
probably was like a lawsuit and they knew they just was like forget it. We
yeah.
this was a
Oh yeah,
waste.
for sure. Just unreal. They oh man.
Well, what
If only one day.
right? What brought you to Twitch after that? Like, obviously, it was the main thing, but other than YouTube
Mhm.
gaming, like, it was kind of popping off around the time, and I'm sure Facebook gaming was
Yeah.
starting.
Yeah, so the reason I chose Mixer is because I was like trying to forge my own path or whatever. I'm like very loosely connected to the Kind of Funny community. I don't know if you ever heard of them. It's like Greg Miller from IGN. His
Oh,
like
really?
he left IGN and kind of started his own thing.
That's awesome.
And because I was a fan of him, I just like kind of watched their stuff. So I'm like a Kind of Funny best friend is like what the community's called, right? And a lot of them stream on Twitch. But first, I was like, I'm gonna go on Mixer because I kind of want to see, like, I just want to do my own thing, And Mixer was like the underdog. And I like after you check out both things, like Mixer was dope. Like
I,
it was like built on new infrastructure. Have you tried it
I went into
at
it
all?
because it was on every
Yeah.
Xbox, like, and then they
Right.
forced
Right.
it down your throat almost because it was like a
Okay.
main page on your
Yeah.
Xbox. So yeah, I definitely dived into it for a while. It's honestly, I probably spent about a month just on Mixer.
Yeah, it's not bad. Like the chat interface and like the incentives for people to chat or whatever. Like a lot of it was like cool stuff.
Mm-hmm.
One thing is like when you refresh the page, the chat doesn't go away.
Yeah.
Twitch still can't figure that out. So they had a lot of dope stuff and like I like the tech behind it. They had this like very like lagless like infrastructure to like stream behind it or something like that, like Lightspeed. I don't know what it was called, but it was dope. It was cool tech. I was like, I'm gonna go with this. And I like Microsoft in general.
Yeah.
Um, so then the reason I chose Twitch is because I know like Kind of Funny and their whole community is on Twitch. So then I was like, well, YouTube gaming, I don't know who's on there. It's probably just
Yeah.
Dr. Disrespect. And like now, I mean, he's gobbling up all the views. I don't know
What?
how.
Who else is? No, Toast is on Facebook, right? Yeah, something like that. So.
Yeah. And then like a lot of the Mixer people went over to Facebook because like they were allowed to keep their
Mm-hmm.
partnership. Although a lot of people were like, screw Facebook, I'm going to Twitch.
Yeah.
I'd start over essentially. Um, so then it was just like, I guess Twitch. I got to go to Twitch. I couldn't see myself on Facebook because I don't use Facebook. That just would seem very disingenuous to just be like, no, I'm on Facebook. So then I was like, all right, Twitch, let's give it a try, and it turned out to be the best thing that I could have done. Met like just an assortment of amazing people all the time. The communities have been amazing.
I feel like that's
And
the
then
one thing Twitch really has over pretty much everybody else
mhm,
is like the
yeah,
communities that you can grow on here. Like I feel like
oh
everyone
yeah,
else is slightly toxic. You know,
yeah,
YouTube
yeah,
in general can just be super toxic if you just start going
yeah.
through the chat.
100%. Like Twitch is just known, like it's the big dog, everyone's been there. So like it's kind of, yeah, it's just the best place for a
Yeah.
community. I would assume they have a lot more like things that can be community driven
Mm-hmm.
with their emotes and stuff like that. YouTube is just now adding stuff like
Yeah,
that to
I
like
just
make
saw
it better.
that.
Yeah.
And yeah, they're a
So
little bit behind the curve. I feel like that's where Twitch has
yeah,
always had a little upper on everybody. I think YouTube is like, I think they incentivize more with ad stuff, but I don't know.
yeah,
For me, it just feels like Twitch is just so easy to get into. Not that I wouldn't move over one
100%.
day, but
Yeah.
for right now, it
I mean,
seems
I've
pretty easy.
I've also thought about it, it's always in the back of your head, like what's
Hmm.
the best move for yourself, you know what I mean? If you want to make this like a full-time
Yeah.
like gig, you got to think about it as a business
Yep.
essentially. Um, but yeah, I don't have no regrets coming on Twitch. I'm gonna be on Twitch for the long foreseeable future, I think. And yeah, just love it. It's
That's
dope.
awesome. So I do a little bit of creeping when I bring a guest on. You know, I get into
Yeah, you
their
do. Yeah, you
I get
do.
into their life a little bit. You know, I deep
Yeah,
down their social medias, their videos and
dox me,
stuff.
baby.
Yeah, nah, I'm all good. But I came across your YouTube as well. Like
Hmm.
you know, I'm just now starting the YouTube thing and the Twitch thing.
Right,
I'm just now getting it going.
right.
Podcasting and interview podcasting, something I knew I always wanted to do.
Yeah.
I didn't go to college for this or anything like that,
Hmm.
but I like you asked my friends, what did I watch? What were I watching when they come into my house? It was like interview shows or like
Yeah.
the Hot Ones or like the Breakfast
Oh yeah,
Club
yeah,
back in the
yeah.
day. Like that. That's still on, but that's just all I ever watched. So I knew this is what I wanted to do. Do you have aspirations of that, and that's how you got driven to the content creation and posting on YouTube?
I think so. I think in general, like I I never knew I would be into live streaming, but I always knew in the back of my head that there's a lot of YouTube content that I watch, and all I can think about is like, I want to do that. I want to do that with friends, or like, you
Mm-hmm.
watch people just do like testing all the chips, whatever.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
those types of like silly content where like you can riff on things, and like that's the kind of humor I like. I like the improvisational, like situational humor where like I can't sit and write a joke. That's not like how my brain works. My brain is more like something's going on, and I'm just going zing zag, zigzag, like
That's me.
whatever. I don't know.
That's
Yeah,
totally me, man. Like
yeah,
I can't write a joke or tell a joke for nothing, but like if something happens, I can
yeah.
say something funny. It's super
Exactly.
super situational.
Exactly. Like if we hang out, you give me an hour, I'll make you laugh like 5 times with the stupidest things I'm saying because of whatever the hell's going on.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what like inspired to do streaming, and that's why like the whole virtual couch thing came about because like COVID starts, you can't hang out with friends. Everyone's like, stay home, be safe, and you can't have friends over to play video games. So I'm like, all right, what am I trying to capture? Like, why am I doing this? The virtual couch. Come sit on this virtual couch with me, and I'm gonna play this game. Let's hang out. Let's goof around. I'm gonna say stupid things about what's happening about this game. Like, let's riff on it. Let's joke around. But yeah, to get back to your question, I don't know what my future holds. I would love to do more like different type of content, not just video games. Like as long as it's funny.
Yeah.
Like I just want to make funny things.
Well, I've definitely noticed
Um,
that with just in your videos in general. Everyone
mhm.
kind of has something they kind of fall back to and like want to put out, like if it's a series of videos. But just between your YouTube and your Twitch, and I haven't gotten into it yet, but your co-op
Yeah,
comedy as well. You know, it seems
yeah,
like you're touching every type of base. It isn't just one
yeah.
game or one specific thing. You know, so I think that's super awesome. That's kind of how I am.
Thank you.
I don't know what I want to
Yeah,
do yet. You know, I feel like I'm still finding
yeah.
myself. So I'm just kind of like doing everything right now and seeing what kind of sticks to the wall, you know?
No, totally. I think you and I are like very much jack of all trades kind of people. Like I never was like, I'm gonna be great at this thing because
Yeah.
this is the one thing that I love. Like I'm more of like, give me a buffet of things. You know what I mean? Like, so that's why like I have that co-op comedy with Robo Dessert, um, because I love riffing with friends like that. Like I like the back and forth, and he's good at doing improv too. So like as I was on Twitch and like we got to know each other, we realized like our humor bounces back and forth very well.
Hmm.
Like we can keep like there's a lot of times when we're recording and like we'll say one joke about something and then I'll say a different way and then he'll go a different way. Like
Yeah.
and I've done that with my own friends where like you keep riffing on the same joke in different ways. Um so then we're like, why don't we just try this, see what happens? If it sticks, it sticks. If it doesn't, at least we tried it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And then with my YouTube channel, there's a lot of video game humor stuff from Twitch, but then there's also like these random things that like I have an idea and I want to execute it. And like the best example is the Mario Highwind saga. I don't know if you ever got a chance to look at that,
I,
but
I, I dove in a little bit. Yeah.
that was like some weird idea I had that to like so like people okay so like people started knowing that like I'm the goof guy because I would do like crazy weird things on my stream,
Hmm.
and so I kept pumping up that like on Halloween it's gonna be the craziest stream you've ever seen in your whole life. Like I'm like I got 15 costumes. I said outlandish things, and then all I did was show a like 2 minute pre-recorded video of me going like, "Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the stream." Da, da, da. And then like a hand comes and like a Mario glove hand comes, pulls me off screen, and then I come and sit down as like a Mario character, as Mario basically. And I like talk to the camera like, Robert Highwind, you think you could just come here and make fun of me? Because like weeks before the Mario anniversary game came out, and I dressed up as Mario and I was like doing a Mario voice and fucking around and like
Yeah.
and so then I'm like, wait, what if Mario gets mad at me for doing that? Like I'm becoming famous off of him or whatever. Like I think there's a whole like storyline. Like,
No, I love that. I love where your brain is just going at.
yeah. Quick side note: I watched a lot of wrestling when I was younger, and I still watch
Perfect.
them. And
That's
like,
perfect.
so long-term storytelling is like I love that like weird stuff.
It's soap
Um,
opera, right? Wrestling is pretty much like,
100%,
our
one
soap opera.
hundred
Yeah.
percent.
I was
It's soap
super into
opera
it into
with
the 90s.
yeah, yeah. I was a WCW guy. Were you a WWF or WCW?
Kind of all of them. I
Okay.
liked them all just because my initials are DDP, so I was always a Diamond Dallas Page. Diamond,
Oh, sick.
yeah. So
Nice, dude.
but then being from Texas too, I had to always root for Stone Cold Steve Austin, and
Course, of course.
I definitely grew up with the old school,
It's sick.
WWF and wrestling.
No, I love that. I love that. DDP was dope, man. I
He
love
was, he
DDP.
was. He's
The
still
original
dope.
RKO guy.
Yep,
Yeah,
he's
man.
still
He's
dope.
still. Yep, I love it.
Doing his
Uh,
what is it? Something yoga.
DDP yoga.
Yep, yep. That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
I'm glad you know
Have you
that.
seen the documentary with him and Jake the Snake
Yep, I
Roberts? And
have.
like him,
He couldn't
whoo,
move, man. That was
yeah,
like a crazy documentary. Yeah.
so emotional,
Mm-hmm.
so emotional. And then they had that one other guy who I think was like an army vet, and then he couldn't walk, and he had like
Mm-hmm.
oh man, that was DDP, man,
Yeah. Hey,
doing it big.
I had to
Shout
get
out.
into yoga recently. I had some super not yoga. I shouldn't say yoga because there's no I can't. But like
I can't tree it
no,
up.
I can't do it. But the stretching I'm trying to get more into, because I'm
Yeah, I
feeling
gotta
a
I
little
gotta get into
stiff,
that. Getting
you know what I
old,
mean?
man. We're
Yep,
getting old.
exactly.
I turned 33 a couple months ago and I'm
Oh, okay.
feeling it everywhere.
I
Like my
turned
back and everything.
I turned 30 in like 2 weeks. So
Oh,
I'm hitting it.
nice.
I'm hitting it.
Yeah,
You know?
you hitting the old dirty 30.
Yep, yep, yep.
Happy early
Well,
birthday,
thank
bro.
you, my man.
Yeah.
So we've talked about it a little bit, but what kind of streams do you like to put on for people? It seems like you're the type of person that like you get an idea and you're like, okay, this is
Mhm.
kind of what I want to show for the people. You're a showman. It almost seems like, that seems like your style.
I guess so. I would say it's a very big range. It goes from there'll be nights where I'm just trying to chill, right?
I've seen
Maybe it's
those.
been
I've
a
seen those.
long day at work, but like let's kick it, let's stream a game, let's talk, let's hang out, whatever. There's other nights where it's like I'm full energy, I'm ready to go. I got all the goofs ready. Like I do a lot of green screen goofs now with like I used to drink a lot of Screwball whiskey. I got into that for a
Okay.
long time, and so I created a little saloon that I would go into and
Oh,
pour
that's
it with like a
awesome.
pour cam and everything. Like, hey, what's up, everybody? Like I'm doing like a cowboy accent, some stupid things like that. Like and um, so I try to keep it entertaining with things like that, right? And oh, got child interception.
Buddy. Time for bed, buddy.
So then, you know, try to do green screen groups, keep it silly. Recently got a stream deck, so now I'm trying to implement like
Oh,
layers on the goofs.
that's what I'm trying to
You
get
know,
into next is Stream Deck.
yeah, yeah. It was a game changer because normally like if somebody redeems something funny that I have to do that I thought of
Yeah.
implementing, I would have to like alt tab from the game, move the mouse over, start clicking like show the source,
Oh, that's so
and
true.
like and it's very it's slow and like you kind of know that I'm about to do it. Whereas if I notice they redeem like a channel point redemption for like sexy time or whatever the hell I have, I could just be like boom, click it with it and it like transitions over to the scene and does everything. Like you could add like delays and everything. It's crazy. It was
Yeah,
crazy.
Kearns is he's one of the people I talk to about like those little things, and he
Hmm.
says stuff like that, and I just, man, I want a Stream Deck so, but not that it's like super expensive either. I just haven't
Yeah.
gotten it yet, but
Yeah.
it,
Oh, I didn't get one till what is it? It's been 2 weeks maybe. So I it was like
okay.
a year into me streaming. Then I was like, you know what? I gotta pull the trigger,
Yeah.
and I wish I did it earlier.
Yeah, I think that's.
It's very
I
cool.
feel like that's me with everything. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, I can get by with what I have, and then I finally get it, and I'm like,
Hundred
oh, I
percent.
should have just got this at the beginning.
100%. I'm very frugal, so I'm always like, what's the cheapest way I can figure this
Yeah,
stuff?
yeah.
Yeah, but so to just answer your question, like it's a range. You might get a nice chill stream where we're just hanging out with the community, and the community I have is fantastic. Everyone's super nice, super cool. So we might be just chilling, playing a story game like BioShock lately, and or maybe it's like a community stream. You hop on the virtual couch with me. We get on Discord. We talk. We play Fortnite. Or lately, I got into Fortnite a lot more because I'm like, I don't have to learn how to build. I just got to shoot you in the head because I hate the buildings.
Yeah,
I
I do
don't
too.
build. Or we play Fall Guys or whatever stuff like that, and then we just have a crazy night, And it's kind of like both worlds.
Yeah. I just had a stream where I played Fortnite with my son because he's always bugged me to play,
Nice.
and I literally have
Yeah.
not played it in about a year.
Right.
And last time I watched him play, even it was like, kind of cringy, like, oh, you don't got it
Yeah. Yeah.
down yet. And then this man carried me to 5 wins in 6 games, so it was pretty
Sick.
good. A lot of bots. I'll throw that out there. There are a lot of bots
Yeah.
out there, but
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
still an 8-year-old carrying me to some wins. It's pretty
Yeah.
impressive.
100%.
So what got you into the co-op comedy thing? Like just two goofy guys and y'all just had a conversation, let's do it, Like it seems so, and especially when you say
Uh,
you didn't really know each
yeah.
other like that before.
Yeah, so I think it was some last year, I don't know exactly when, but me and Robo hit 500 followers around the same time.
That's awesome.
Like kind of similar time, and up until that point, people had already kind of like sort of kind of skipped us, if it's the word. Like these two guys, you guys need to do something or whatever. Like you're funny, he's funny. Like you two are the funny guys. So we said, all right, what if we did a co-stream and played like a co-op game together? And we played A Way Out,
That's
the
a
one with
that's a
the
that's a, yep.
prison break.
Yep.
Yeah, love that game. That game is amazing. There needs to be more. Shout out to every developer. Can we please get more co-op
Yes.
split games,
Mm-hmm.
please? Make my life easy.
Yes.
So then we're like, all right, we'll play that. So we like planned like a big old like 6 hour. It was supposed to be like a 4 hour stream, but it went to like 6 hours to play that game from start to finish. We had like goofs. He does a thing where he draws Pokemon from memory, and
Oh
it's
wow.
always terrible and silly. I copied that and I draw Mario characters on
Nice.
Paint on
Okay.
like so then we did like a combo goof where it's like if you redeem on his channel and my channel, we'll do like a combo thing. We did like fake tattoos because we're in prison, so we had like
That's
tattoos
so
all over our
funny. Oh my
face.
gosh, that's so funny.
So we had a bunch of like silly things, and people really connected with that stream. Like the co-streamer, like you guys should do more of that. Um, so then that kind of like planted the seed. Like, what if we were to do something? And just throwing it back and forth. Months go by, months go by, months go by. And then eventually we just said, why don't we try it? We started throwing together like, what should we be called? Funny, fun and stuff, or you start like the idea starts
No, for
gestating
sure.
in your head, and you start thinking about what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? And then like eventually we just kind of pulled the trigger. Like 2 months ago, I think it was been no, last month, beginning of last May, beginning of May. We just pulled the trigger, said, screw it, let's just try it. We'll see what happens. And so far, it's been like one of the most rewarding things I've ever done. Um, and I always like doing something with someone rather than doing it alone.
Yes.
Like I always like I feed off of other people's energy a lot. Um, and yeah, it's kind of just what it's been, and I freaking love it, and I hope it continues to grow. My dream would be to like do that full time and stream as well. But I just love creating silly content,
I'm
whether it's just us. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, you're fine. I was gonna say I'm kind of the same way. Like I'd like to pick your brain sometime if you don't mind.
Oh,
Um,
100%.
I've said it before on stream, but for anyone who doesn't know, like I kind of got into this before streaming. I did me and my buddy, we talked all the time. I moved to Oklahoma, 1,000 miles away from my friends. So like
Mhm.
it was we started a podcast together because it's our way of like talking to each other, and we always had goofy conversations. We would literally call each other and talk and laugh for like 2 hours. So it was like, well,
Yeah,
why don't we
yeah,
just do a podcast? We listen to podcasts all
yeah.
the time. So we started our Grower in the Shower podcast, because for
I
some people
love
that
that
do
name.
know, like for my background, what I do, and then he has like a sales type thing. So like,
Yeah.
for what our businesses are, it kind of made sense and it was kind of funny. Plus the pun behind it.
Yeah. That's a brilliant name.
Thank you. That was the name that.
That's great.
Thank you. And so like we started that together and we tried growing it, and then quarantine happened. And where we should have picked it up and kept it going, we kind of stopped because of just obviously life and everything. And I really wish we didn't. Now we're at the point where it's actually my buddy Brad Baker is here. He rated us earlier, so I appreciate you, Brad. And
what up?
But we are trying to do more stuff like that as well. We would like to do more co-op style, because we did a way out. You know what I mean? We did videos on that, and we're trying to do more stuff like that. So I'd love to pick your brain sometime on how you were able to do it. You know what I mean? Because it seems so difficult. I'm still trying to learn Twitch, and I don't understand how it works, like streaming together or like getting the content and video. Because I try and learn this editing thing, but man, it's tough.
It's tough.
It is tough.
Yeah.
So yeah, any day that you'd be down to let me learn from you, I would be so grateful.
Yeah, 100%. I'm very much an open book when it comes to this type of stuff, because like I don't know, I any knowledge I have or like tips and tricks, like I'll just ask me, and I'm very happy to help everyone, because like I'm very much the mentality of like what's the one, rising ship raises tides rising tide helps all the ships. When there's a wave, the ship goes up.
Right. We'll eventually get there if we keep saying
it. Yeah, so anytime, man. Anytime.
Awesome. I appreciate you. So I heard you say it before, and you talked about like your community's like a bunch of goofs. Is that just
big old goofs?
Does that just come natural, and that was just like you knew that's what you wanted your community to be? A bunch of goofs?
Actually, no. This is a big lesson of like anyone who's starting off on Twitch or anything like that. You have to be flexible to pivot, because my branding, what I was trying to go for, looks completely different.
Okay, let's hear this, because I was wondering.
All right, so my last name in the name Highwind comes from Kane Highwind from Final Fantasy 4, which is my favorite game of all time.
Oh, there we go.
So I was like, boom, Robert Highwind. Okay, got the Highwind thing. I'm like, all right, I'm a Highwind. What is he? He's a dragoon, which is like his like class. I'm like, cool, dragoon sounds dope.
I'm a Final Fantasy fan, so I'm right there with you.
Nice. So then all of my subscribers were dragoons, and I was gonna create like a legion of
Okay.
dragoons. You know what I mean? Like a hierarchy or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. I'm like some dope. Like we got a commander dragoon. We got this and that. Like the army or whatever. Like because in Final Fantasy IV it's the Red Wings. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I also like synthwave a lot, and I like that aesthetic. I like the '80s vibe. So my stream looked just like it was just like that classic like what is it, like the Tron background with the waves and the mountains and all that, and it was just like this like super synthwavy dragoon thing. But as time went on, I started and I became more comfortable being on camera. More of my personality came out of like just being a silly motherfucker. And so the word goof kind of just like came out of my mouth one day. I'm like, I'm just goofing. I'm just big goofing over here or whatever. And like that kind of stuck. So like you probably know chat has like a mind of its own.
It does, yeah.
No matter what you are think you do or whatever, like chat can just take you one
Mm-hmm.
way, right?
For the
So
better at times, for the better.
400% for the better because we Twitch is very much for the community,
Mm-hmm.
right? If you want to just build something, you could go to YouTube and make your videos and you'll have a very distant
Yes,
relationship with
exactly.
your fans. But Twitch is very much about the fans.
Very personal.
And exactly. And so as I kept saying like, oh, here's a goof, and I started calling like my bits and my jokes just goofs, you know what I mean, or whatever. Like, and so then you kind of slowly but surely as like move your brand towards what's sticking and what's more you. You know what I mean? Like even this like because this was the original like design. Like even this is a little might be a little too synth wavy right now. Because like this background I created, or I didn't create it, like I took and modified, is like the virtualness of the virtual couch.
Yeah.
That's the couch now. That's the TV you watch or whatever. So like I'm just like I slowly move towards a more lighter, friendlier, goofier aesthetic. Like my icon and everything is a lot like friendlier than it was before. Like the background is a lot lighter than it was before. You know what I mean? Like, you just gotta be so flexible to, and you gotta pivot to what's sticking. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like a lot of people, because I have talked to people who want to start streaming and they're like, what do I do? I'm like, you just do. You just put your best foot forward that you can right now, but you have to be ready to pivot when you see fit. Like the amount of time, like every month, like I would change a layout, like a little piece of the layout. I'm
Yeah.
like, you know what? No, this looks weird. I'm gonna move it here. Like if you watch my stream every month, it always changes. Like until you hit something where you're like, you know what, this is it. And now my layout really hasn't changed for the longest time because I'm like, you know what, this works for me.
Nice.
But before it was like you got a couple things here, a couple things there, and then you change it. You know what I mean?
I'm
You're
still I'm
always
still in that
changing.
spot right now where I'm kind of just
Yeah,
changing every, it's been about every month, I would say. But
yeah.
I
See?
just found my somewhat found my branding, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
uh
You have a great branding.
thank
I'll
you.
say
Thank
that.
you.
Dash
Like
of salt.
yep. I think it all kind of stuck, and
Hmm.
it's a real life thing as well. Like that's like a
Hmm.
real life nickname as well, so like it kind of
Yeah.
was just easy to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just didn't know
No,
if I
it's great.
wanted to commit to it at first. I was like,
Yeah.
you see people with their names or they go a
Hmm.
completely different direction, and I was like, well, this is kind of personal to me, so I think I can use this.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's great too because it has that gaming connotation of like someone being salty,
Yeah,
you know.
exactly.
So there's like it has like all that like it's great. I like it a lot.
And I like giving off the, because people at work
Hmm.
people call me salt or salty or something like that at work,
Hmm.
and people who don't know me, they'll hear that and like, oh, this dude must be like, you know, kind of salty, I guess. And then
Yeah,
they meet
yeah.
me and
Why is it so
I'm
salty?
not that person at all. I can be, I guess, at times, but I'm not that person. I try and have a contagious smile. Is
Yeah,
this how I
yeah, you
try and
do.
go into it?
I'm
Thank you.
smiling.
Thank you.
Oh
So I wanted to.
man.
You say you got into streaming like during the quarantine time when
Yeah.
everything kind of slowed down, the world slowed down. Do you see that kind of picking back up? Do you see with the numbers going down and everything like that? Do you see that it's kind of harder to do the same things you were before? I more really mean like do you feel like you have to be more crazy or put out different
Mm.
content to bring people in? Because it seems like that's what I'm noticing, that people are noticing their numbers drop. So they're like, okay, well, let me do something better or create. I think it might be a good thing because it might push better content out there as well. But
Yeah.
are you feeling that at all? Or, you're kind of just cruising through it and just knowing that that's life right now?
Yeah. I would say I don't know if I'm that big to feel a major drop. Maybe like bigger names who are getting like hundreds of viewers are getting hundreds less now or whatever. Like I feel like I'm still in my like 20 and less average, you know. Um so I don't think I've noticed a sharp decline yet. But I am thinking about that in the future because it's just natural. Like I want to make this my thing.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to quit my job one day and just focus on content creation. So you have to think about your longevity, which is I guess why I'm trying many different things. Like I'm trying to do co-op comedy right now because like I'm seeing that kind of like take off, and I want to put a lot of energy into that as well as my own streams.
Mm-hmm.
Just to kind of like because the one benefit of YouTube is that the content's just there. It doesn't go away.
Sure.
On Twitch, you got your VODs, but no one really
Yeah.
goes and watches a VOD unless you clip it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like this is live and that's it. Whereas on YouTube, any content you put out can be watched now or in 2 years or whatever.
I had to go back to delete
Um,
videos from 2007.
damn.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm aware of what's going to happen once everything starts opening up. I haven't really experienced that hit because I don't have that many viewers. But I am trying to like I guess I don't know hedge my bets
Mm-hmm.
by having a YouTube, having two YouTubes like my own and co-op comedy. But yeah, I don't know. I'm aware of it. And as far as ramping it up, I think now I kind of got lucky that I have a stream deck, so my jokes can be ramped up. Like I could work on more elaborate
Mm-hmm.
channel point redemption jokey
No, I like
thingies,
that.
which is going to help, I guess. But I kind of am in my mindset is very much like I'm just gonna be me. I'm not gonna go over the top to be over the top. If I go over the top, it's because that day I'm feeling crazy. Um, and you know, that's kind of like what I'm trying to like put out there. And if people like it and they stick around, then great. Welcome to the community. If I'm not their cup of tea, then there's thousands of fantastic streamers that are out there that you will probably connect with more.
Yeah, I've said it almost every, podcast episode, but like you, I would love to make this a full-time thing eventually. I don't think I would ever quit my career per se because it's one of those things
Hmm.
I could kind of hop in and out of.
Hmm.
But I would love to create content, and
Yeah.
I've said this before. Like, I definitely want to do this interviewing thing, and like I'm trying to be
Yeah.
better at it. I'm trying to speak better. Get my ums and everything out of there just to try and talk better when I talk to somebody. But
Yeah, I would say you're doing a great job. I watched Cranston's live as it was happening while I was
oh,
working,
nice,
and
thank you.
you're doing fantastic.
Well, I appreciate you.
It's good stuff.
I always try and tell people to I be nice. I like people to be nice and give me compliments and stuff. But I also love criticism. So, and
Mm,
I'm not the type of person that's ever been. I take criticism very well. You know what I mean? As long
right,
as you're
right,
not
right.
rude about something.
Yeah.
Anyone's
Hey,
being.
dummy, do
Yeah,
this.
exactly. But I do have aspirations of going full time. So,
Hmm.
are you trying to hit all the social medias to try and just get that exposure everywhere? Have you seen that help? Because I feel like this has been like my hardest thing to do. Because like
Yeah,
I'm just now learning the Twitch, getting it down. Now starting to edit and put out videos, and it seems so daunting to try and get on Instagram or TikTok
yeah.
or anything like that.
I think it's very difficult. It's very hard for me because of like I don't have I have like so I have like a regular 9 to 5, but whenever I can, I try to sneak in some high wind stuff, while I'm working, but it's really hard.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when, Monday, Wednesday, Friday I have to stream. So it's like right after I'm done with work, sometimes, work goes past 5 because, shit's hitting the fan and you gotta knock it out. So
Yeah.
you're knocking that out and then it's dinner and then like I need like 30 minutes of just like
Yes.
nothing so I could like
Decompression.
transition. Yeah, exactly. Before hopping on and like streaming for 4 hours.
Hmm.
Uh, and then Thursdays I record with Robo for co-op comedy. And so like my only real day off is like Tuesday, where I don't have anything except I kind of do, because now I'm working on my stream. I'm trying to edit other videos, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I'm always doing something. So yeah, I'm with you. Social media, freaking hard, which is
Yes.
exactly why people hire an entire social media
Yeah.
manager. Like I see that now.
Yeah.
Because when you start off, it's just you're trying to
Yeah, man,
juggle
it's so
everything.
hard.
Editing I found to be the hardest thing. The amount of time it takes to freaking edit anything
Not
is just
only
ridiculous.
you're not only you watching the video, but like you're watching it to get a certain clip or something like that, and then you're rewatching that specific
Yeah,
spot again just to make sure it's
over
right.
and
Yeah, and
over.
I'm just like, oh my goodness, this is a 4 hour stream. I probably watched this for 8 hours. I don't
Yeah,
know. So,
exactly. It's insane.
and that's
It's
kind of what
insane.
I'm trying to do. I'm trying, and I don't know if you're the same way, but like
Mhm.
I kind of know this trend in YouTube, especially with Twitch getting bigger and more Twitch people blowing up on YouTube as well, that they, not that it's a bad idea either, but they were kind of just taking their content from streaming and then taking
Yep.
that down, and even if not making one video, making several videos, because they would do several
Yeah,
different things. Do you see that like that was a great idea and that you've been able to trying to implement that as well?
I think so. I think you got to take as many. This is my personal philosophy. You got to work smarter, not harder.
Yeah.
So, like for instance, right? Let's say there's a really funny moment in your stream. Someone clips it out. Right? You can take that clip and make a vertical video for it and put that on YouTube Shorts, which has sometimes can be a very crazy, like it'll hit the algorithm and you'll get like 600 views on it.
It's so
That
crazy.
might not, yeah, it's insane. It's like what? How? Like you might not get many followers from it, but like at least it's working. At least it's doing something for you. You could take the same vertical video, put it on TikTok. You could take the same vertical video, put it on Instagram Reels if you want to. Um, so it's like you can make that one video do that much work for you.
I feel
Hell, you could even throw it up on
I
Twitch.
feel like
I
that
mean, sorry,
was
Twitter.
that was like my hardest thing to understand, and I think I still
Hmm.
have struggle with it, of taking your 1920 by
Hmm.
1080 thing into a vertical screen.
Yeah,
I was like, I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to make that look good. So I think that's one
yeah.
of the reasons I've kind of stayed away. And I posted on
Hmm.
Instagram, but I think once again it's because it's easier, because I can still take that size and
Right.
post it without it being a big issue. I think I just need to
Yep.
dive deeper into just trying to get it into a vertical format.
Yeah. What do you use to edit videos, if you
A
don't mind me
couple
asking?
things. Sometimes I'll get a smaller version of my video from a highlight. Like I'll go into Twitch and just highlight a certain portion, and then I'll
Right.
bring that into DaVinci, because I feel like that's just been.
Oh, you use
Yeah, I'm
DaVinci.
using DaVinci.
Okay. I'm gonna send you a preset.
Okay.
So what I love about DaVinci, and again, this took months for me to figure out, because like I found this guy on YouTube who um, creates free templates, and you
Oh,
could
awesome.
implement this template on a video file, and it automatically
Oh,
does it.
okay.
So I'm gonna send that to you, and
Awesome.
that should
Thank you.
speed it up. Yeah, for sure. That should speed it up. You should be able to like he's got like sliders on the right side and everything, and you just kind of move things around to find your camera wherever in that video
Okay.
it is, and it makes it look all pretty and
Man,
stuff.
I've tried so
So
hard. Like, 'cause I try and get my video there, and I'll see people like be able to zoom in on their webcam thing, and I'm like trying to do it, and I'm like,
yeah,
oh, it looks so bad. I don't know what's going on here.
yeah, it's tough. And even like, see, like here's the thing. Even with me having that preset, I have nothing on my TikTok. I haven't done a YouTube short. Like time, man,
Mm-hmm.
time is just so limited. Um, Especially trying to juggle multiple things at once. I don't know. It's just crazy.
How do you
But
how do you
hopefully,
how do you find that energy to, I've asked this a lot, and it seems like most of us do have a full-time 9 to 5 job, as
mhm,
well as a girlfriend, wife, family, you know what I mean, that they're trying to juggle as well. And it seems like you've
yeah,
added a couple things of, because you want to do this full time. So, you
right,
kind of put that extra stuff on your back to make it work. How is it,
yeah,
the energy to keep that up every day, to push that go live button, to push that record button?
yeah. It's been tough, um, but it's something that I'm very much enjoying. I enjoy it more than like my regular job. I enjoy it more than like other things. So it's like even when I'm tired, I'm like, I want to do it.
Yeah.
Like I don't care if I'm tired. Like I'm enjoying doing this. Like sometimes I've stayed up till like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. editing a video because like I'm laughing my ass off and I'm
Yeah.
having fun doing it. Um, and I think the hardest thing that it's been is like taking time away from your loved ones.
Yeah,
I think that's the biggest thing.
that's been my biggest juggle. You know, it's like
Yeah.
sometimes you know, you think you're doing everything right, or when I know I'm gonna stream, you know, sometimes I'll come home, I'll try and do something for the wife real quick and do something for the kids,
Yep.
so you know, I don't feel like I was just missing out on stuff. And
Yep.
there have been just some days where she was like, "Oh, you said we were gonna watch a movie,"
Yeah.
and I'm like, "Oh, you know, like completely blanked
Yep.
it." So I feel like that has been my biggest struggle, is to not make my loved ones feel like I'm forgetting about them through all of this.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. My wife and I used to spend like every night together before this, right? Like before I started doing this, like every night
Yeah.
after work, we just be like on the couch watching shows and movies and this and that, just like living life like that. And it was fantastic. And now uh four like minimum 4 nights a week, I'm doing this.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes on Saturdays, you know, I'm editing a video or whatever, and like that's the toughest thing. But you know, she's been amazing. Like she understands. She's
Yeah.
doing her own thing. And but you got to just make that time. You got to do what
Mhm.
you can, do your best. That's the toughest thing.
Yeah, especially when your loved ones are supportive for you. I definitely
Yeah.
try and I've said it before in the podcast, but my wife's so supportive of me and pushing me to do this, even though she may not be the
100%.
happiest about it at times. You know, she's
Yeah,
still
no, definitely.
supportive. And those times where like you said, I was up editing and then I go and check on her and she's already asleep. You know, I feel super
Yeah.
bad. So, you know, anyone out there in those situations, just try and do a little bit more in the times where you're not doing stuff. Like, you know, trying to get
Yeah.
the family out and, you know, explore a national park or something like that. You know, just, you
Yeah,
know, I think
100%.
those times are important, you know, away from that.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to do something a little bit new, and we're at the 45-minute
Mhm.
mark.
Holy crap.
Yeah, I know.
That flew by.
It does fly by, right? So this is something I wanted to try and do. This is going to be
Oh shit. Oh no.
our rapid questions. Rapid fire questions. Just give me your first word that comes
Yeah.
up. We'll do like 15 questions real quick.
Let's
and
go,
let's see
baby.
how you do. All right.
Assault gun.
All right. Choo. That'd be kind of dangerous. Like, Mom!
He hit me with the questions.
All right, you ready for this?
Yeah.
All right. What's your favorite color?
Blue.
Dream vacation spot.
Japan.
Best pizza topping.
Pepperoni. Double pepperoni. Extra pepperoni.
First game you ever played.
Sorry, worst what?
First game you ever played.
Oh, the original Super Mario Brothers on the NES.
And I know you already said it, but favorite game of all time.
Final Fantasy 4, aka Final Fantasy 2 on the Super Nintendo.
How many holes does a straw have?
2. 1.
Best Thanksgiving side dish.
Ooh, stuffing.
Favorite actor to play Batman.
Oh shit. Bale.
Oh, okay. Is cheesecake a cake or a pie?
Oh shit, that's a cake. Cheesecake, fucking pie. I just changed my
I
mind.
agree, man. I think it's just a pie. If you had to choose one condiment to have with every meal for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Ketchup.
Oh, yeah.
Specifically Trader Joe's ketchup.
Okay. Would you rather explore space or the ocean?
Oh, space.
Okay. You kind of already said this too, but Xbox or PlayStation?
Xbox.
Which Pokemon best describes your personality?
Ooh, Squirtle from the Squirtle Squad.
I don't know if you've ever noticed this, but if you can see
Yeah,
that.
baby.
Yeah, I got the Squirtle Squad on me. And then last
Hell
question,
yeah.
the most important one. Is water wet?
Depends who's asking.
Okay. That's
If a fish, if for a fish, nah.
okay.
But for us, yeah.
All right. Fair enough. I think those were good
Hey,
answers.
man.
Those were good answers.
Thanks. I like that. I like this.
Thank you. I thought, you know, I had to throw some things in there and you get to learn more about the person. Oh, geez,
Yeah.
I have hat hair extreme. We'll keep it going. So,
That's cool.
with keeping a community around you, what are some things you try and do to keep your people coming back to you? You know, like some people do a Discord, some people do community
Mm.
night. You know, what are some things you try and do to interact with your community?
I think the biggest thing for me has been community nights. The old sit on the virtual couch with me and stuff. But beyond that, I've only done this once so far, unfortunately. Twice. I've only done it twice, but I want to do it more. I've done wrestling watch-alongs for
Oh,
pay-per-views.
that'd be sick.
Yeah, like we did that. The first one I did with the community was Royal Rumble because
Okay.
that was like the big. There's a big gimmick to that, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
fun to
Yep.
see like countdowns and this and that. So, and I think that was a huge hit. Like even for people who didn't like wrestling, they're like, "Yo, that was fun to like be like, I want that guy to win." And like it's like silly, you know. Sometimes they have like those joke characters who do
Yeah.
silly things, and
Yeah.
they got big monsters doing crazy things. Like, people had a great time. And then, so that's what I'm trying to do a lot more. I'm trying to like figure that out. I need to get better at my Discord. I'm not very like
Same,
Discord's
man.
hard, man.
So same.
Like
That might be the hardest social media of them all.
right? Because that's like a
It's well,
offline Twitch stream.
it's almost like your own specific social media that you can kind of run. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? So you know, it's
exactly.
kind of
It's a
all
good way
on.
of putting
Yeah,
it.
it's all on you if how successful it is or if it fails. You know, so
Yeah,
I think that is
yeah,
the biggest struggle there.
yeah. So I'm trying to figure out, what I can do with that to make it more fun. But beyond that, it would be like my Friday community nights. I'm trying to do that a lot more often, where I could just have play games that people can jump in, whether it's Fall Guys, Fortnite, or maybe Mario Kart or Mario Party one day, or like Mario Golf is coming out, and I'm a big Nintendo guy, a huge Nintendo
That's
guy, so
awesome.
I'm gonna be playing that a lot. So I think it's that kind of stuff, playing with friends, because I know a lot of people have said like the late night crazy streams where there's people on my stream and we're just like shooting the shit, and it just turns into madness sometimes.
That
But I think
almost was the
that's
podcast name, just so you know. Shooting the shits.
madness. Oh, shooting the shits. Love it. Love that. But for branding purposes, you
Yeah,
gotta you
yeah,
gotta
yeah.
you can't put shit
It's
in
like
it.
kind of shooting the poops doesn't roll off the tongue.
Shooting the old feces. Um, but yeah, I would say like community nights, just like hanging out, virtual couch. I know I keep going back to it, but that's kind of like the vibe that I keep, that's the vibe I'm going for.
Mm-hmm.
That's the vibe I like. I love those late nights when you just hang out with friends and you're not really doing it, but you remember those nights and you're laughing so much. But like, what were you laughing about? Like, I don't remember. We were having a blast talking about whatever the hell,
Mm-hmm.
watching something on YouTube or whatever. It was just that's the kind of vibes I'm trying to go for.
No, that's awesome. I like that. You know, I think how you have your stream is super cool. You know, when you were starting, you mentioned it earlier that you kind of just went with the green screen because you're streaming in
Hmm.
your living
Yeah,
room.
my living room.
What kind of made you decide to stick with the green screen? Because you know, I had the idea of like, all right, what should I do? Should it be a green screen or should I try and do the
Mhm.
whole thing behind me? And I think in the end, I kind of realized I should have just did a green screen because no one's really paying
Mhm.
attention to the stuff behind me. Don't get me wrong,
Mm.
people kind of comment on it now and then, but it didn't make or break the stream. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
so
yeah. I think it's very it's funny you say that because I look at people who have cool backgrounds and I would say your background is cool. Like there's
thank
a
you.
lot of things that catch my eye, the Hardaway jersey and like all your other jerseys. And so I don't know, like I kind of just did it on necessity because my wall is just white. Like there's just a white wall. Look behind the curtain, everybody. And so it was born out of necessity, and then I realized I can do a lot of funny things and put me into funny situations and scenes, and now it's like I can't get rid of it,
Hmm.
even though I would love to have a dope background filled with all the nerdy crap that I have and like make a cool little like thing, you know what I mean? But it's almost like it's like a double-edged sword.
Yes.
It's great in one way, but in another way you're kind of limited. Like I can't show off who I am from the back, right? If people look at your background, they're like, oh, he likes basketball, he likes Mac Miller, and you can kind of just pick things like you get to know the streamer just based off their background. Whereas me, it's like this guy looks boring with a just green screen. But like for new people, right? New people come in, they look at me. If I'm not doing a funny thing with the green screen,
Yeah,
immediately
sure,
they're
sure,
like,
sure.
this guy's just sitting here playing a game, whatever. Little do they know, boop, 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 boop,
Yep.
funny things
All
happen.
right.
So it's a double-edged sword. I don't know what I want to do down the line. Let's say like, you know, we move into with an extra bedroom, I can make my stream room or whatever. I've have like funny ideas, like thinking about like maybe I have a regular background like everyone else, but then another wall is a green screen and I could hop off if I have a wireless thing, I want to get a wireless thing, I could hop off and do funny on something funny on the green screen whenever, you know, like there's like little ideas I'm throwing here and there, but for the foreseeable future, I think I'm going to stick with the green screen because it's like it's working. I could do all my little funny jokes with it. Um, yeah,
No,
that's about
I
it.
think that's awesome. You can keep it simplistic as well as create whatever you want behind you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm almost jealous in the way because like I've seen things that people could do with the green screen. Like I've seen people like someone comes in and says it's their birthday and like just within a couple seconds they got a cake in front of them and they're literally
Yeah,
throwing
yeah.
a birthday party for this person on their
That's
stream.
cute.
So it's super cool to and even I was going through your clips and I see Robo's in here, and I saw like the clip of the Zordon, Power
Yeah.
Rangers thing. I was like, "Is this Zordon? Is that what that?" I
It is.
laughed my ass off through that. I thought that was so funny. And then the Batman. I saw you dress up as
Yeah,
Batman.
yeah,
I
yeah.
that those type of things I think are just super awesome that you can do on stream. Where I'm kind
Yeah.
of limited. I can't really do that. So I have thought
Right.
about.
Yeah.
Luckily, I do have a stream room. But I have thought about
Hmm.
like hanging a line
Having a
up,
pull down,
yeah,
right?
or something,
Yeah.
just moving across or something. I don't know. I'll think about it more, but like I was kind of saying earlier, I'm just trying to figure out this right now. So
Yeah, yeah.
I
100%.
think I'll move into that a little bit later.
Yeah. And the other thing too is what I notice is maybe this is just me, you know what I mean? Like I haven't like surveyed, you know, Twitch viewers to know if this is how they feel, but when I see someone who doesn't have a green screen and I see their background and stuff like that, I instantly feel more connected to them in a way because it's like I'm peering into their world and their
Sure.
living room or wherever they are and I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, "Oh, now I'm with you." Whereas like with a green screen, there's like a little it feels kind of sterile maybe, you know what I mean? Like
I can see that.
I'm in the void. Like, who am I? I'm just a guy sitting here. Like, you don't know who I am. You don't know where I am.
That
Like,
should be my thing, the
I don't know.
void. Just have a
The
big
void.
void back behind me,
Yeah.
floating through
It's
space.
just, yeah. Yeah, yeah. So I don't know. Again, you know, it might be a grass is greener type situation where I see them like people without it, and I'm like, oh, I want that. And then, you know,
Yeah,
same thing with
I
them.
think
They
it is
see this.
a little bit of both.
Yeah. Just gotta make the best of what you got, I guess.
With going into that, like, has there been anything? Because I think it keeps us humble as people in general, or failures. Like, has there
Hmm.
been any grand ideas that you thought like this is gonna work or this is gonna be the next big thing that just totally flopped? That just didn't turn out how you thought it would.
Oh man. I would say, let's see, grand ideas. I don't think I've done anything huge yet, like grand ideas. I guess you could say like my first branding of who I was like can be considered a failure. Like the whole Dragoon and synthwave, like it was cool, but like didn't really stick, did it? Like
Mm-hmm.
I switched it up. Um, I'm sure there's been little jokes here and there wherever like or like goofy scenes or whatever that don't pan out as it's not as funny, you know, as you think it might be. So you're like, man, we're
Man,
gonna scrap that.
me and
Um,
my buddy talked about it all the time, especially when we first started. Like, it is the worst when like something happens and you say something that was just you think was just so hilarious, and then
yeah.
like nobody saw it or heard it and
Oh
you're
yeah.
like, oh, that kind of
Yeah.
destroyed you right there.
Yeah, it's the life of like a comedian. Like
Yeah,
you need everybody to laugh,
yeah.
or else like, you're gonna think about it, you're like, what the hell did I just say?
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm so stupid. I will say, okay, actually, you know what? This could be considered my biggest quote unquote failure. So I got into Screwball Whiskey like after a friend introduced me, which is I don't know if you again I don't know if you had it, peanut butter whiskey. It's like peanut butter infused whiskey, and I love peanut
I
butter.
love peanut butter. I'll have to try that out.
You should. It's delicious. It's very sweet. It's a very sweet whiskey,
Okay.
but it's like addicting. It's like dangerous to drink because it's like delicious, and you keep drinking it. And now you're like 2 glasses deep into
Yeah.
whiskey. So like I got obsessed with that for a long while. So I made that whole like scene and everything, and like everyone kind of knew me as like the Screwball Whiskey guy, and they started buying it, and they would like post it on Twitter and be like, "Yo, shout out to Robert Highwind." And I tried my damnedest. Salt, if I'm lying, I'm dying. I tried my damnedest to get Screwball Whiskey to notice me. Like
No, that's
me
awesome.
me being a small ass streamer, I'm over here like, hey, Screw, what's up, baby? I got a
Hey,
whole scene over here, this and that,
I'll
and they
chug
didn't give
it.
me no play. They were like, thanks for supporting the Screwballs lifestyle or whatever the
Oh
hell they were, their
man,
brand thing.
just
And
getting left on
I'm
red.
oh yeah, they left me on big red, and now, and I guess you could consider that like a failure. Like I tried to make it a thing, and it just wasn't a thing. Like it didn't like pop off or whatever. But community liked it, so
No,
yeah,
I mean,
it is
hey,
what it is.
you know, like I said, it's a humbling moment, and I think the failures, just you can always turn that into success. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah,
you can
yeah,
either see that in a negative way, or you can see it in a positive way. Like I will never do that again. You know,
right.
but
Now
like,
I gotta wait
yeah,
until I hit a
exactly.
certain threshold of like a popularity to be
Right.
like, now will you like give me a sweater
Yeah,
or
right.
something?
I think you can do it, man. I believe in you. You just got to
Thank
keep
you, man. I
pushing it,
appreciate
stay consistent. Somebody will notice it.
it. Somebody will. I'm
What,
moving on to the Rock's tequila.
right, right. I would
Now
love
I'm
to.
gonna try to go for the Rock.
All right, who is it? Who has the? Ah, dang it, I'm
Flute
forgetting.
me?
He has the Skull vodka.
Oh, Dan
Yes,
Aykroyd.
yes, yes, yes. I would love to be sponsored by it. That would be amazing.
Yeah.
I'll have
Oh my
Skull
God.
vodkas all around me.
Hilarious. Love that.
So, with talking about failures, what's been your biggest success? Like, what has
Ooh.
brought you? What do you think has been the most success, or a really successful
Mm.
stream, or whatever that you think has really hyped you up to bring more people in?
Oh man. I think my biggest success would this is gonna be a very cheesy answer, but is like the answer that comes from my heart rather than my brain. The biggest success is creating a community that keeps coming back, like creating a
Very
group of
true.
people that I love,
Mm-hmm.
that I want to hang out with outside of
Yep.
streaming, that I've connected with, and I consider all of them friends. Um, that is like the biggest success because that's you don't get that often, right? You could, I consider myself extremely lucky to have been able to do that because I know there are thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of other streamers who are just putting the work in grinding, but like haven't broken to like reach a level of
Mm-hmm.
success. So I consider myself extremely lucky to have been in the position I am. So I would say like my biggest success is that. Um, Now, specifically stream wise, personally, I would consider the Mario Highwind saga my best success. I think that what I did with that, like, I will say, like, I don't think I've seen it anywhere else. Um, the whole saga is up on YouTube. You don't need to watch the whole thing to get it. There's like three I consider very well edited, like little videos to like explain what goes on, and then there's like two of the VODs with Mario Highwind. Like, I honestly think that's the best thing I've done, and I don't think I will. I don't see myself topping that
Okay.
level of like fourth dimensional like goof, where like now I'm just an entirely different character for a week.
No, I think
Yeah,
that's
I think that
awesome.
was the yeah, I think that's the best thing I did because like man, and then like because like after that stream where he took me over and like controlled it, I changed my social media like
Oh, really? You
presence.
you
I
you
went all
committed to the
out.
bit.
That was oh yeah, that was my slogan last year.
Oh, okay.
Commit to the bit.
Okay.
Yeah. And so like I
I'm down
changed
for
my
that. I like committing to the bit.
hell yeah, dude, you have to go all the way. If you don't believe it, no one else is gonna believe
Right?
it. Like I changed my like background on Twitch. On other people's Twitch, I would talk as Mario Highwind using like this text converter where it converts what you wrote into like a weird looking text. So I would write what I'm saying and then I would copy that weird text into their chat to talk like that. Like I was Mario Highwind for a
That's so
week
great.
and it was insane. And the Mario Highwind I played wasn't like, oh, I'm Mario. It was
Yeah.
like a
Hey.
Joker. It was like the
Yeah,
Joker.
okay.
So
A
he was like a
murderous
psycho.
Mario.
Yeah, he was a psycho man. So I think like that was like the best thing I've ever done. That's like even though I did it kind of early on and like I didn't have as many viewers or whatever, but I feel like that left a mark that like people who know were like I was there when he did that shit and that shit was crazy.
Do you
And
ever
so I
feel
feel
like
like
that's
that's my
something that you could bring back? Maybe not that specific thing, but maybe okay. The look in your eye says you're working on
oh
something,
yeah.
so okay.
So the last video I did where I'm burying Mario Highwind, At the very end, I did a Jumanji thing where when they put the
Yep.
box away,
You hear the
you hear the
music
dum dum dum.
intensify.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So at the very end, I put like the box away, like I put his hat and his mustache away, and I'm putting him away. And like my wife's recording, so like talking to her, I'm like, I'm ready to put him away. He's done, blah blah blah. So I put him away in my closet, and then like the music swells up, and the camera starts zooming into the box, and then the box just kind of moves a little bit, and then it cuts.
That's
But,
super sick.
Mario Highwind's always there.
Okay,
He's
okay.
around.
I
He
like
might
that.
come back.
I like that. So, getting into like the setup of everything, did you get
Hmm.
into streaming? Like, because I've said it before, when I got into streaming, I kind of like, I'm an all or nothing kind of guy.
Yeah.
Um, Not in the sense of like getting the biggest and best stuff. I don't have
Hmm.
I don't have an XLR mic. I'm not doing all that, but like, I kind of felt like I needed a streaming PC and a gaming PC. I felt
Yeah.
like I needed, an okay capture card and all this. Were you the same way, or did you like feel like you could go at it in a minimalistic approach?
I felt like so I thought I need to do the best I can now, and I wasn't afraid to invest some money into it. Um, but I definitely never would recommend anyone, and I even abide by this, like don't drop like a grand to start off
Mm-hmm.
because you can do this and then realize maybe you don't like doing this.
Yeah, I've thought about. Yeah, I've seen that happen
So
very often.
it's dangerous, right? It's very dangerous to be like very excited about something and you want to do it, and then you go drop all this money, you start doing it, and then you realize maybe I don't like this as much as I thought I did.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very natural thing to happen, and so I was aware of that. And so when I started on Mixer, I did pay for the one thing I did buy was I used Nerd or Die, and I got like a layout thing
Mm-hmm.
to get like transitions and starting screen, and just to have like at least something. So it's not just here I am, here's my empty box, and I'm gonna start playing. It
Yep.
kind of has like a sorry, there's a car racing
Oh, you're all
outside. I was
good.
hoping the mic didn't pick that up.
I wonder who won.
Um, so I wanted at least to have the feel and the look of like, hey, this guy's trying, right? I always want like you got to know that like put in an effort, right? So I wanted it to look like there was an effort made. So I bought that like synth wavy looking thing, and I like created a logo for myself and like an identity, and I started doing it. And slowly, as I realized, like after like 2 weeks, I'm like, you know what? I'm enjoying what I'm doing. So then you start thinking about like where am I going to make the upgrades?
Mm-hmm.
Um, like I think the one of the first things I bought. Oh yeah, one of the first things I bought was upgrading my computer. I think like within like the month, like 1 month, I was realizing that streaming and playing a game
Yep.
on the hardware I had was really rough. So then I started I like really quickly bought like a $200 mid-range AMD GPU um that was like 5 years uh newer than the one I had, and it immediately made like a drastic
Yep.
improvement. Um and then you slowly get like the light. I bought a light because I realized like I'm looking a lot darker, like I look like crap compared to everybody else. Like and then like that lighting is one of the best things you can do. You don't have to
Yes.
necessarily get the better camera. Lighting can make a bad camera look better
100%.
because more light goes in. So I also like I read up on a lot of this. I didn't like just pull it out of my like I didn't just know this information. I would
Yeah.
like Google and watch YouTube videos and try to just figure out like where's the best place for me to invest my money to make it better for the viewer, because at the end
Mm-hmm.
of the day it doesn't matter if I think it looks good. If people aren't enjoying what they're seeing, then they're not going to stick around. So microphone and lighting, it was like the first couple of things, because you could still have like a crappy PC and stream like indie games or something
Yeah.
else or whatever. um but yeah, as time went on and I realized like no, I'm doing this. Started putting like I put all the money I have from Twitch, I put right back into getting better equipment so that I could do more,
Same. Yeah.
buying games that people are interested in seeing, or just um yeah, doing whatever I can to make it look good and work better for people. um yeah, so yeah, I think that answered your question.
Yeah, 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 for
I'm not
sure, for
sure.
sure. Other than the Stream Deck, what do you say is like you your happiest improvement or happiest purchase that you made?
Mm. let's see. I would have to say I got very lucky and I got a 3070.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I was up all day looking at one of the Twitch streams that like will ping and make a noise when something's in stock. So I just kept, as I was working, I had that stream up because it's like this like automated thing, and every time it goes ping, I went to like wherever it was, which was in this case Newegg was making the drops. So I would go to Newegg and try to buy it. Um, Lots of failures, but then
Yeah.
got really, really lucky and managed to grab it. And I think that has made the biggest improvement because I could play better games,
Mm-hmm.
cooler games. Whereas before, I tried to freaking stream Red Dead Online when they were giving away for $5 on Steam. I think it was Steam. I bought it and I was like, hell yeah, I love westerns. Started it off. I ran it on like 720, 480p, like all the crap. Like, and it couldn't work. It was like a slideshow and everything was lagging. And everyone's like, cool slideshow, man. And I was like, all right,
Yeah.
well, we're not playing this.
Yeah. No,
So I would say like the happiest thing was that.
that's awesome. Yeah, I bought this PC, and I didn't have a big spending, but I got a family and I got stuff that I don't want to ever feel selfish towards myself. And it's like
100%.
the kids need things or the wife needs something. It's like, oh, you just bought $1,000 computer, and it's like,
Yeah.
so I couldn't do stuff like that. So I went minimalistic with an all-in-one, right? Not necessarily for streaming. It was more so because I needed a computer in general, and I felt like an all-in-one was better for me just for what I needed to do. And then because I was originally just going to be podcasting, so I didn't think I needed or I wasn't going to be streaming anything. I was just going to be recording. And then it turned into streaming, and then I quickly realized this all-in-one is not going to cut it. So then I was like, okay, well, I need to play games off something else. So I just kind of converted my Xbox into that's what I'm going to game off of, and then I can capture card to that and not put any extra stress on my computer. But then you get limited on what games you can play, and the indie games you can play. So that's when I kind of just went to the computer thing. But it was so hard to find everything you wanted to, because everyone said build your own PC. That's like the best way to do it, and I just couldn't get there. I just couldn't.
100%.
So I think for me, I think it was better to buy a pre-built and then just wait for those other things. Like I can upgrade things as they come out and I can get them. Like
it's a much better deal now to pre-build because the freaking GPU market is insane.
It's so insane.
Whereas you're not paying that much of a markup if you just get it pre-built. Like there's no need to build it on your own right now because of just everything is not on sale. You can't find it anywhere, and if you do, you're paying twice as much.
Yep.
Nah, stick with the pre-built for sure.
I actually just heard someone say earlier that they saw a website with the pre-built with the 3050 or 3060 for the same price as someone was selling that 3050 or 36. So it's just so crazy how the scalpers will do things.
Insane.
But
so insane.
But what advice? Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I was just gonna repeat like I got real lucky with that 3070.
And some people do, and I think the connections. It's all about that grind too. If you really want it, you really got to go after it. And same people that like I saw got PS5s, they were waiting on those websites, or they were doing those things. So it just sucks sometimes, but you got to kind of do it.
Yep.
But what advice would you give someone who's pursuing the same thing you're pursuing, that's working a full-time job? Because not that I strictly want to make this a full-time career right now, but it is an aspiration of mine. What advice would you give someone that's trying to do that as well?
The advice I give everyone, and I've had other people ask me like, hey, what's the number one advice? I would say you take it seriously. I think it's a very general advice, but what I mean by that is you gotta study other people that are doing what you're doing in order for you to get better, to evolve and reach the level of professionalism that you're trying to reach.
Yes.
Yeah, we do silly things on stream, but there's a level to like I'm trying to be as professional with my silly shit. Like, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like when it comes to like branding and when it comes to just like your social media and all that, like I'm trying to, the amount of times I've tweaked and changed things and I look at other people's as an example, like I go to like mid-level streamers and top streamers and I'm looking at their like Twitch panels and things like that. And I'm like, all right, what do they have? Should I do that? Would that be good for me? I try it out, see if it works. If I don't like it, and then I switch it up. Like I'm always trying to get better, and I'm always trying to feel like what's the next thing I need to do to get myself to the next level. Um, and that all just comes down to like taking this seriously. Um, but I guess that advice is only if you want to make this a career, right? Some people are happy just doing it as a hobby, and if that's what you want, then just do it. The first step is to just do it.
Yeah.
Um, Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, I was just saying. Yeah, I agree.
Oh, okay. Uh, and yeah, it would just be learn from people, ask questions, and just do the best that you can, and actually just do it.
Yeah.
The amount of time that you spend 9 to 5 at a job that you might not necessarily like, you can spend 3 hours a night focused on this thing that you want to do, and you can get better, and you will get better, and you will actually feel more of a reward from your successes of this than you have in your regular 9 to 5. Like the success I've seen with co-op comedy, because we've been like going hard at it, like trying to figure out, like me and Robo would like talk at night, like why isn't the algorithm working on this video? Or then why is it working for this video? What did we do? Is it the title? Is it this specific word that we put? Like the like the meticulous levels of detail of trying to figure it out and like taking it seriously. I think that would be the biggest advice. You know what I mean? Like success comes from you with like just that grit of just going in, do the work because you love it and you want to make it a thing. And I guess that's it.
No, 100%. I
I feel like
agree.
I'm rambling.
No. You're 100% right. You know, like I don't remember who said it, but I heard it and I think about it all the time. But if someone knows who it is, then put it in the chat. But they said like and it's not going to be verbatim, but you can fail at what you don't love. And it hurts so bad when you fail at something that you don't love. So if you're going to fail, you might as well fail at something you do love.
Yeah.
I'd rather much fail at something that I'm enjoying and everything like that than have something that I actually hate and despise doing every day, and then I still fail. You know what I mean? It's like, let me try something that I actually enjoy doing. So I agree with you. I think you should just give it 100%. And something that's always helped me is I'm competitive. I see someone's hard work and I want to work harder than them, and in a friendly way. It's not like I'm trying to put that person in the dirt.
Of course,
I can uplift the same person. We can all get better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that competitive nature in me is something that drives myself to just always do better. And I agree. You got to look at what other people are doing, and your personality is going to be different, so you can put your own little twist on things and be different than someone else. So I agree with all that.
Yeah, no, you're definitely right. I have that competitiveness in me too. I look at other streamers that I consider to be in like the same level, higher than me, lower than me, like lower in the sense that like,
I get what you're saying.
Arbitrary bullshit of like follower count or whatever the fuck. So I look at like the whole range and I'm like, okay, what are they doing? What's working? Can I take that? Can I like implement a little bit of that into my stream? No, that's not really what I do. It's cool, whatever. Like you can learn from absolutely everybody, right? Like in sports, that's true, right? Why can't it be true in creative content?
Yep.
Like artists look at other artists. The whole hip hop industry does a lot of sampling of like stuff. Like it's not bad for you to take inspiration from other people and twist it and make it your own, or just let their successes fuel you to do better and everything like that. And I totally agree. Like there's healthy competition is fine. Like as long as you're not being a dick about it and trying to like, you see someone else succeed and you're like, fuck that guy. Like you don't need to be that way. Like you can celebrate their successes and while having a competitive, aspect of it. It's just, it is what it is.
I truly agree. So with that being said, I do want to say this real quick because we're getting to the point where we'll start doing it. But near the end, when I get done with all the questions, I kind of open the questions up for chat. So anyone that wants to leave questions for Robert here, you can throw them in the chat and we'll be getting to them at the end of it. And I probably have some personal questions I get into as well.
Yeah, of course.
But other than that, what's your next big streaming goal that you're trying to hit, or content creation goal, YouTube goal?
My next big streaming goal is 1K. I feel like after 1K, you don't need to focus on followers anymore. I feel like that's like a big milestone.
It is, yeah.
I think because I feel like brands even don't like pay attention to you. Like if I was to hit up an indie like game that I'm super interested in, I'm like, hey, would you want to like give me a code so I can play this game and like talk
Mm-hmm.
about it and like, you know, maybe give me like, or don't even give me a code, give me 3 codes to give away.
Yeah.
Like I'll buy the game. I don't care. I just, you want to do something with me? And like they might look at my numbers and be like, "Yeah, this guy's got like 800 to get out of my face." I'm like 5K or nothing.
Yeah.
So I feel like when you get to that 1K and then like it's not like, you know, the number looks cool with like a
Yeah.
K. I feel like that's a
It's
good
almost like the likes on
bam.
Instagram back in the day. You could see this, like, oh, come on, can you just show like 10 plus or something, you know?
Yeah, exactly. But I feel like that's like a big goal of mine. I want to reach that little milestones and then like, you know, I would consider myself now you're a legitimate streamer or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
As far as content creation, I think right now I'm focused a lot on co-op comedy because I'm seeing a lot of success and I'm loving what we're doing. Like it has been so what's the word? Fulfilling to
Okay.
s- to to,
I was gonna
to,
say
to create.
liberating, but that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. It's very fulfilling to do the content like for my creative side because like for basically almost like a year it's just been me and my stream, right? Yo, shout outs to the raid.
Yeah, shout out
um
to you. So thank you.
big big soap raid. um uh like for the past year it's been
Love you
me
guys.
doing my content, and then so now with Robo, like it's a whole new thing with like a bunch of back and forth, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
working with someone is so much different than working alone. So like I've
Yeah.
been loving that. So 2 goals: get to 1K on my Twitch personal thing, and then grow co-op comedy as much as I can because I truly believe in what we do, and I think our dynamic is different, and I think we joked around like saying that, hey man, no one's doing 2-person video games. Not true. A lot of people do 2-person
Yeah.
stuff all over the place. You know, you got Rhett and Link on Good Mythical
Oh,
Morning. You got
dude, the
Game Grumps.
OGs.
Yeah. And you got Game Grumps. You got all these people doing 2-person. So we're like, oh, look at us. We're doing something innovative.
Yeah.
But I truly believe, like, I think we're legitimately bringing something slightly different with our humor. I think we have like a weird, funny sense of like humor.
I say it all the time with the 2 people. That's why me and Brad kind of did what we were trying to do. It's like, um, there's a lot of people with similar humors and similar whatever, but it's when 2 people get together and they're dynamic together that's different than everything else. You
Oh
know,
yeah.
like
Yep.
I may be like slightly funny by myself, and Brad, who's my friend, is funnier than I am. You know, and he can just come up with things so much better than I am. But we work well with
Hmm.
each other. You know, like he can
Exactly.
say
The back and
something,
forth.
yeah, and we can like hop off of each other and do those things. So when you have that
Yeah.
dynamic with somebody, it's awesome, and you can kind of grow and blossom that. So, and I'm seeing that
Yeah.
with you guys. You know, like I said, I creeped a little bit. So I went back
Yeah.
early
Yeah.
on the co-op, and then I watched like I think you had just dropped it. It said like minutes. I had watched your like latest rap video. You know, so
Yeah.
like you can see everything that you guys are trying to do and see the growth there. So that's awesome to see. You know.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. And uh, so I guess like that's like a big focus of mine now beyond just the stream because I freaking love what we're doing. I wish like if I can make that the job too, like, oh man,
Yeah.
play games with Robo,
Yeah.
put up silly shit. Oh man,
I
that'd be the
think
best.
I think what I like about the streaming thing is me and my buddy talk about it a lot, but and not that this is gonna make me a millionaire or anything, but no
Hmm.
millionaire, well, not all millionaires got rich by just one job or one opportunity.
True.
You know what I mean?
Hmm.
They had several different things that they were doing. So I can still have my
Yeah.
career as of right now and still try and do what I'm doing. And if that breeds success, then awesome. You know, I always told myself if I could bring in monthly what I'm making at my job, I'll quit. I'll do this full time or even close to it. You know, if I knew that if
Yeah.
I could dive full time into it and that could supplement some extra income, then I would totally go
Hmm.
all in, you know. But it's
Yeah.
just kind of like what you said, like when your numbers are still so low, it's kind of hard to commit to something like that because yeah, you do need
Hmm.
that extra stuff. And I'm at the point right
Yeah.
now where I'm not trying to use my outside business to grow this. You know,
Yeah.
I definitely want to separate this and be its own entity. You know, but it's hard.
Right.
It is hard to build a brand and make it a full time thing. But
Yeah.
I think what you guys are doing, what you're doing, and you and Robo together, I think that's super awesome, and you guys will
Thank
find
you.
success there.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Hope so.
Yeah.
We'll see. I'm very much a very much like whatever happens happens kind of guy. Like Cowboy Bebop, Spike Spiegel,
Love it.
whatever happens,
Love it.
happens. So I'm just trying to make the best of what I can and put all my efforts into it. And if it works out, fantastic. I'll feel blessed. If it doesn't, then it's been a great ride, and you know, I'll have no regrets because I put everything into it.
So this is kind of like my last question, but we'll say some other things. If you could step into
The
my
final
shoes,
pinch.
yeah, the final little one, Salt Bay on them. But if you could
Yeah.
step into my shoes and you were the host of A Dash of Salt, what are some questions you would ask your guests?
Oh, interesting conundrum. I would ask, how did you know, or like when was there a tipping point where you're like, content creation is where I want to go? Like, why are you doing content creation as opposed to whatever the hell else you could be doing? I guess, like, what inspired it? How did you get into the
Other
creative
than
aspect
getting a
of it?
food truck, like.
Yeah. Like, why this?
Okay, that's interesting. I always like hearing it. Like I said, I like criticism, and I think you can always learn from what other people have to offer you. So I love hearing the things. And then another one is, who's somebody or who's a streamer, content creator that you would like to see on a guest as A Dash of Salt?
Ooh, I mean, give a shout out to my boy Robo Dessert. I would love to see him.
Definitely gonna.
And I would love to see, like, one of the first friends that I made here. His name is Reaper's Past.
Okay.
I think he's part of our community. He's a streamer as well. He's great. Who else? I mean, there's a lot, man. Our community's filled with so many streamers.
So many great people.
I could give you a laundry list of people off stream to be like, any one of these people would be fantastic.
T-Pain, bro, if you can get me T-Pain, I would love that.
T-Pain?
He has the best Twitch intro of all time. Like,
yeah.
I love his songs going into his Twitch intro. So, like I was saying a little bit earlier, for anyone that's still here, this is where we kind of open it up to you guys. If there's any questions that you'd like to ask Robert here, or myself, I'll answer some questions as well. I don't mind. We can both answer them. But feel free to leave them there. This is kind of where I kind of just open it up. Yeah. Non-content. Yeah.
Caller on line 1.
Yeah, I loved it. If you get me to caller 9, I'll give you something. And then also, thank you for everybody that was here. Thank you for the big raids that came in from Dwelt and Brad and Soap. Like, I really appreciate you guys, for everyone that stopped by tonight.
God damn you, Robo.
Okay, well, I'll read it though. This is a joke question to make Robert mad. What chocolate are you eating?
Don't ask me about my chocolate, Robo. This was a random goof where one of our nights recording, I went to grab a piece of like chocolate to like give me a sugar boost or whatever, and so I was like eating it. He's like, "What kind of chocolate you got there?" I'm like, "I don't know, man. It's whatever." I just kind of was like, "I don't know, man." And he's like, "Why are you getting mad at chocolate?" I'm like, "I'm not. I'm just eating chocolate, man. What do you want?" Some random ass chocolate brand.
I feel it. People hate me for this all the time, and I try not to bring it up. I know Melissa's in here, and she gets mad, but I've never been a chocolate fan. It looks so delicious.
I'm not either.
But like when I see chocolate cake and it melted all over everything, it looks so good. But
to be completely honest, Salt, I'm not a chocolate guy either. I just kind of like, I went in the kitchen. I'm like, I need sugar. What is there? And I just saw this chocolate like ball, and I was like, I'm eating this. But like, given the choice,
I'm the same way.
I'm not a chocolate guy, really. I'm a vanilla guy. Big plain.
Yeah, I'm mad at you for a Salt. I'm sorry. Like, hey, I like the sour candies. I like the hard candies, But yeah, chocolate's never been. It's bitter to me. It's bitter. It's like true. I can't eat it without having a glass of milk or a glass of water.
Even milk chocolate?
Milk chocolate. It's just still a little bit bitter to me. Like, I can do peanut M&Ms. Maybe like a handful or so. But other than that, like, I just stayed away from chocolate.
That's very interesting.
Yeah, I was never into it. And then
it's probably like one of those things where people say like, oh, if I eat cilantro, it tastes like soap. There's like a DNA thing.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
It could be like one of your things where the chocolate, there's like a thing in chocolate that you experience more like heightened than everyone else.
Some things in my DNA that are just bad in general. Like, I can't roll my R's either. I heard that's genetic. Like my Chewbacca is. Hold on. That's a
dying dog. What are you doing?
Yeah, it's just not there. It's just not there. One day though, I'll get it.
It's a puppy getting murdered.
It's a lot of things, I know. Yeah, I kind of messed up all my stuff to be, I said it before, but I used to stutter. I had like a slight stuttering problem with certain words and letters. So my S's and R's, I kind of messed up earlier in life. So I had to take like public speaking and grammar classes and stuff. And every now and then it comes back,
Yeah, it's all right. I have moments like that on stream, and then it becomes a freaking thing. Like, English is my second language, so I think sometimes I'm Armenian.
Oh, nice.
I was born in Armenia, and I came here when I was 3 years old. And
that's awesome.
So I think sometimes like I'll be reading something, or like there's a word that I just can't say for some reason, and or like I would say like a weird sentence. Like one time we were playing Hitman, and I died, and I said, "I got died, everybody."
I watched that clip today.
And then, I watched that clip. Yeah, and it became a thing, and now it's an emote. Like got died. Like it's like a whole thing. And then like there's another one where we're playing 2 Point Hospital, and I couldn't say diagnosis.
Is that the one with like the rats and stuff?
No, rats? No.
Maybe
2 Point Hospital?
I'm thinking of something else. Keep going.
Yeah, it's like a cartoony, like you run a hospital that people come in with like weird diseases.
I'm thinking of something totally different.
Rat disease.
Yeah, all right.
And then on that one I was reading, and I couldn't say diagnosis, right? And I was like diagnosis. Diagnosis. I couldn't say it, and I'm like, now that's a clip on YouTube. Like,
yeah, I totally get it.
Everyone,
my buddy makes fun of me for how I say yesterday. Yesterday. It's just how I've always said it. He said, like people say I say it with like a Jersey accent.
Who needs that R, man?
And then there's some other thing. Oh, I say, listen, kill me for this, but I say salmon. I don't know why.
Salmon?
I say salmon.
Oh, you say the L?
I say the L. I go so far as I tried to defend it when I'm like, listen, it comes from the Latin word salmo, okay? Like you pronounce the L. But hey, I'm probably wrong.
I will never give you shit for that. The English language is weird.
It is. No, I give
you. Go ahead. The go-to thing I say is the word Pacific Ocean. The letter C is you say it different every time it appears in the word Pacific Ocean.
That's true.
What the fuck?
Yeah. And then like listen, I live in Oklahoma, so right above us we have Kansas, but to the right of us, why isn't it Arkansas? You know what I mean? Like why don't we have this? And then but you say Texarkana. You know what I mean? Like, so I just don't understand how we're doing things here. So it's just super confusing.
It's so weird.
But getting back to some of the questions, if you were continuously being attacked by eagles one at a time, how many could you kill before they got you?
Oh, one at a time, huh?
What are we talking? Are we talking like bald eagles? Are we talking, those big things? I saw one that was big as a wolf. These are monsters.
Okay, one at a time, I assume means if I kill it, then the next one comes. Like
waves, one at a time.
Bad guy mentality. Like one at a time, go fight the guy.
They're all flying around you in a circle, and then they'll just dive down.
Oh man, that's a great question. I want to say, like, if I could grab it, like I'll fucking choke it out. I'll put it in a sleeper lock, snap its neck or something. Like I'll throw it on the ground. I don't know, man. I feel like my fight or flight instincts are like high. Like I'll be running away or I'll fight. 4 or 5.
4 or 5, okay. I mean, you got it,
I feel like I'll get tired,
Yeah, that's always what it is.
That's the thing.
I've heard this question a few times, and just to be more not so mean about it, I'll say zombie children, but it was like, how many waves of zombie 10-year-olds could you take on at a time? Like, let's say 10 10-year-olds every 5 minutes. How many do you think you could take out? My child's 10. Yeah, I think anything that's around you, that you could pick up. I think a school. Let's say like a schoolyard. That's like that's your battleground. I'm pretty confident. I'm pretty confident.
Yeah. But let me ask you this: is it the slow walking zombies, or is it like
we'll go walking? World War Z zombies, we're all dead. Let's just be honest. You know what I mean? But like Walking Dead zombies.
I think I could take quite a few waves.
That's what I'm saying.
Slow little kids. Are you kidding me?
Man.
Rip one of their arms, start beating them with the other one, like grab another one, just toss them around.
That's what I'm saying.
I'll fuck some shit up.
My kid tries me up all the time, but I let him know I could take him out, both hands tied behind my back, with my eyes closed.
You'll be
So
done, child.
yeah.
I can't wait to have a kid and just start suplexing them.
Yep. Hey, as a father, I always try and put my son in the dirt. You know, make sure he never knows that
Let
he's
him
better
know.
than me.
Let him know.
Because one day he will be. He's already getting bigger than me. So.
Exactly. When you beat me for real, then you'll know. Then you'll know.
Salt, I'm going to need you to make that a sound alert. Oh, I'm going to need to know which one. What did I do? Oh, was it the
Chewbacca? I think
oh,
it's
the
your
Chewbacca thing? Okay, yeah. That, oh, I mean, you know, come on. So what else do we have? The English language is fucked up. And I would like to say, I give credit to anyone who's bilingual. I took 4 years of Spanish in school, but my best friend he was from Mexico. So like, I just cheated all the time. He literally did all my homework. And I remember one day, the teacher called me out and was like, Dalton, did you do your homework? I was like, yeah, of course. She was like, oh, really? Because this is perfect Spanish. I'm not teaching you perfect Spanish. And I was like, you got me.
Yeah, you got me. Just give me the A. We'll move on. That's hilarious.
How many did you expect, Brad? At least 37. That's pretty interesting.
37 eagles.
He's got a frame built for eagle combat. That's true. I watched your exercising clip that you had where you were doing your aerobics and everything. I think you got it. I think you could take them out, you know?
I think I get tired easily. I don't got cardio.
Same. I get tired super easily. But I can always take out Brad. So everyone knows.
Oh, shit, Brad.
We have this thing. He's a lot bigger than I am, you know, and I've always kind of been a smaller guy, but we keep saying we're going to meet at 205. At 205, we're going to meet up because that's like a 50-pound drop for meet me at 305. I can't do that. That's like put on too much weight. But if we ever get to 205,
steroids.
Yeah, that's going to be the next boxing thing you see, you know.
Yeah, let's get it done.
So
I love that.
A couple selfish questions that I wanted to ask. I was going through yours and Co-op Comedy's YouTube, and someone who is struggling to come up, not only to edit the video and to try and find the best moments of it, but then to try and edit a thumbnail afterwards.
Yeah.
I feel like I get done with the editing and then I'm trying to upload it to YouTube and it's like, oh, fuck, the thumbnail. You know, like, shit, I don't even know what I should do now. Yeah. Where's your inspiration coming from to try and make all your thumbnails? Because they're amazing. All your guys' thumbnails are truly awesome.
Thank you. If you scroll far back enough, you'll see an evolution. It didn't start off that way. It was like our little characters with numbers, because that was kind of like based on the things that I was looking at that time. I was like, I think this is how we should be going about. And then as time goes on, you know, you look at other things and you're like, we probably got to pivot. I think so. Like the best thing, it's as shitty as it is, like it has to be quote unquote clickbaity. You know, you have to have something crazy, or
noticing
weird,
that,
or like something to draw you in and be like, what the fuck is this, right? Like there's the one where we had like the cowboy life simulator, right? We could easily have just put cowboy life simulator in both of our little cartoon faces, but like if you don't know co-op comedy, why would you click that, right? You don't know these two little goofy character models or whatever. Cowboy life simulator, that doesn't sound funny. I'm not going to click it. But if it's two of our dumb faces on a horse, you're like, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
And if we have like an idiot face, you're like, you know, this could be funny, and you might give it a chance. That's just the nature of the game, right? True. That's the meta of YouTube. As much as you like, as a content creator, you could be like, I don't want to be clickbaity. I want to make, you know, good content shit. That's great. That should be how it is, but that's not how the algorithm works. That's not how it push to people. Like you gotta play the game as you just have to. Yeah, and that's kind of what we learned after our first month.
Yeah, I've only been doing it for a little while, and like the first couple thumbnails I had, I actually outreached somebody else because I just didn't even understand how a thumbnail should be created. Also, I didn't sit down and do any research on how to do a thumbnail, you know. So, but now I got Canva and I got Fonto and a couple Photoshop deals that I'm trying to work with. But then like I'm editing a video, I'm trying to, you know, I look it up on YouTube and look at other thumbnails and be like, okay, what was successful, what wasn't successful. And with the podcast in general, you know, I put this thing, and I don't know if anyone's seen it, but it just says a dash of salt, and then I put the person's logo, and I thought that would do really well. and then, or not really well, but I thought that would be good enough. And now I'm realizing that's not really good enough. You kind of need to go deeper, because now when I'm looking at podcast thumbnails, it's like a funny moment between the two people, especially if it's an interview style. You know, you got like the laughing thing if it's comedy, or you know, a serious moment or something. You know, so
something needs to hook them
yeah,
in.
exactly.
Like,
so I just dropped a Fortnite video, and same thing. I just had to clickbait it, where you know my son carries his father in Fortnite, and just have like
100%.
father 0 kills, son like 32 kills. You know, so it just makes it easier to clickbait it.
That's a brilliant like catchword. Like that'll get people clear. Like, oh, dad playing with his son, fantastic. He's gonna carry the shit like out of. His dad's gonna suck. That's gonna be funny.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like you gotta do that. And so like, oh yeah, so like you said, you put the person's logo, right? I think one of the first things we noticed in the beginning was that I thought it would be very cute because I liked our little characters, and I was like, I want to implement them in the logo. But again, nobody knows us.
Yeah.
But if we put our actual faces on there, and they're doing like weird faces or whatever, they might be like, you automatically feel a stronger connection with the person just by the thumbnail.
Yeah.
Because you're like, now I see these people. These people are making, you know, the jokes or whatever. So I think we're going to slowly move into more our faces for things. Maybe not always the clickbaity, like, oh, or whatever. But that's kind of,
you know.
But that's kind of like, that's what gets the clicks. Like,
it does.
So
the Home
annoying.
Alone face is like, it works. Been working for 30 years.
Yeah, it's so annoying. But like, that's what your eyes are naturally drawn to a person's face first off, and then if they have a shocked face or like it's eye-catching, you know, it's
I totally agree.
Another quick tip for people making thumbnails is when you work on a thumbnail, you're working at a computer monitor, right? It's huge. You gotta to test if it's like a good thumbnail, you should zoom the fuck out and look at it tiny.
True.
Because no one's gonna see it that big. And that was another thing, like I've seen when I was doing my own thumbnails back in the day or whatever, like I would try to get a little bit too detailed, or like my certain things I would have smaller than it should be. And then when you're viewing it from far back and they're on YouTube, you're like, man, I can barely read what the hell this says. Or like the color I use doesn't pop as much because I added a weird whatever gradient, or the background outline doesn't pop as much. So like it's very different working this close and then looking at it from way over here.
Yeah, I saw a YouTube video that said that like when you create a thumbnail, put it on your phone, just to see how it looks, because a lot of people are looking at YouTube videos on their phone. You know, if it looks good in that little thing on your phone, then it'll probably look good on YouTube as well. So
exactly,
you know, I think that's a good idea. Did I miss anything? Did I get everything? Same with emotes. Oh yeah. Oh my goodness. Same with emotes. Yeah, I learned that the hard way as well. Where I thought I was doing something good, like that "Good Lord" one. That like you can read that very even in chat. You can just read it, you know, and then some things you put out there, and it's like, what is this pixelated word that you got going on right here, you know?
And that's the second iteration. Before that, I had it a different way. Realized you can't really read it as much. And I had like, it was like my eyes were like, because like when I say "Good Lord," sometimes my eyes will go, "Good Lord, what the fuck is this?" So I had my eyes, and then I had "Good" on the top, "Lord" on the bottom. But then, you know, it's cool. It's you know, I'm using my eyes or whatever, but like you can't really read it that well. So then you kind of make it more generic looking. It is generic looking, but now it's more accessible. More people will be able to use it freely, and people can read it. Blah blah blah. Like you got to play the game.
Yeah, that's why I've kind of been working, because I have like a couple more emote slots I have unlocked, and I just haven't used it because I just don't want to put out anything weird. And like that one, I have thought about. So I've seen people been using their face, and I think that's a really good idea. First off, I hate my face, so I don't know if that'd work for me.
What do you mean, man? You got a great face.
Oh, I don't know. I just
I like your face.
Thank you. But I've thought about doing like Squirtle Squad stuff or something like that, you know, because that's like my all-time favorite Pokemon. That's what I, you know,
me too.
It is kind of different from my stream though, so I've kind of been weary about using a Squirtle emote, because other than if you like knew me and knew my stream and we talked about it, you wouldn't know what the fuck the Squirtle is doing in my emotes. You know what I mean? So
you know what might be cool? The sunglasses, and then just squad on the bottom.
Yeah, true.
Squad. People love saying squad.
You have my 14th favorite face. Thanks, Brad. I truly appreciate that, you know. You know, this I'm probably a little bit above what Brad Pitt, um, Orlando Bloom.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, I think I'm above them. Yeah,
Yeah.
I tell people all this all the time. You can't tell on stream, but my body and everything. I'm a mix between Brad Pitt and Troy and a Brad Pitt and Fight Club. You know, like
Ooh,
either. That's how
good mix.
yeah. It's like the two best versions of Brad Pitt. You know, but like
Yeah.
I'm a mix between that. Take my shirt off and you're like, whoo. You know, my Achilles though, super weak, super
Yeah.
weak.
Don't touch it. Everybody, don't touch it. Man might fall.
But yeah, does anyone have any last questions before we wrap everything up? And before then, do you want to plug everything one more time? Plug where you guys are at, and let everyone know where they can find you.
So you can find me at RobertHighwind everywhere. I got lucky to grab all the socials with Robert Highwind, twitch.tv/RobertHighwind, twitter.com/RobertHighwind, youtube.com/RobertHighwind, everything.com/RobertHighwind. And then coopcomedy.com, COOP comedy.com will take you to our YouTube. Would love if you guys, followed us there. We're almost at 200. We got a nice little boost during E3 with all the reaction content that we put. And see,
Super smart.
That's another great example. Reaction content.
Mm-hmm.
First off, I always thought it was like the cheapest way to like put out a content because I didn't think it was fun. Then when I did it with Robo, I was like, I think me and him are goofing on a lot of things. We're making jokes about it instead of just being like, oh, hype.
Yeah.
Because like all the reactions I've seen so far of like anybody that does it is usually like, I'm hyped about something.
Yeah.
What if we just like dunked on some stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what if we weren't hyped about it? Like one of the funniest I just gotta like say this real quick. The Tensugami Mishe 5, or there's like that Japanese video game that came out for when the Nintendo was doing their E3 when we knew nothing about this game, and it was like a bunch of weird animals, but it's like a huge franchise that everybody loves, and we were just like, what the hell is this? And so we put that reaction out like with a big face of like, what the F is this? And that has like our most downvotes
Really?
And it's so funny that like
hey, you start hating on people's communities and like, get them out of here, they're canceled.
We're like, what is this animal? Like, but like, we weren't like hating on it. We just didn't understand it. So we're just like, what is this? What the hell's going on? They're like, welcome to a different Tokyo. We're like, what is this Tokyo? Like, we're not just like, because like, we're trying to be authentic. So we're like, if we don't know it, we're just going to be like doing whatever we're doing. So I think that was pretty funny.
I mean, it's not like you're disrespecting anything. I think it's like, you know, you just, I think
we would never put something up to just disrespect it.
Exactly. Like my buddy Brad, he, his like ongoing joke, and I may be wrong about how he does this, but he's hilarious on Facebook. You know, people just post stuff, and obviously people leave comments, and he's that person that goes into things and just leaves that funny random comment. You know what I mean? And and what's super funny about that with Facebook in general is he's doing it because he likes to do it, but I see it. You know, like, because Facebook just promotes it to me that, like, hey, your buddy commented on this random post that I don't even follow. And I always commented, like, send it, I screenshot it, send it to him, like, what the hell are you doing right here, dude? But
like, just goofing around.
His thing right now is, like, the BTS community. Like, not making fun of them, but, like kind of trying to start drama in between the fans of the BTS. It's just super funny. I think it's just the most hilarious thing. But I think
he seems like, when I was reading chat, he's funny guy.
Oh, he's definitely a funny. He's like a funnier version of me, you know.
I love that thing where he was like, you were like, who said this quote? And he's like, oh, it was DMX. I caught that and I like giggled inside.
Are you sure it was DMX? You know, was he gonna give it to me? If so.
Oh man, but yeah, coopcomedy.com. I think we're doing a lot of good stuff, a lot of good content coming out soon. You know, loving what we're doing there.
Nice.
And besides that, twitch.tv/RobertHighwind is where you can find me with my goofs.
Awesome. So I always ask this, and if you don't want to, it's okay. If I wasn't a good time, you know, I'll take that as what it is. But I would love, because I think a lot of us, especially me, I'm a very small streamer, but I feel like we're all in the small, you know, we're all everyone's below 2K, you know what I mean? So I haven't had anyone super crazy, but I like to see people's growth, and I think the growth is gonna keep going, especially with people who are just out there putting content, and I think your growth is going to be incredible. So I'd love to sit down with you in like 4 to 6 months again and just go over all this again and see how things have changed and how much better it's getting.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah, 100%.
Awesome, man. Well, I hope to have you on again, and thank you everybody in chat that tuned in for us. I like having these conversations, so It's
Me
nice
too,
to
man.
get into the mind of somebody that you hear
Yeah.
things that you didn't think you would hear, you know, and
Mm.
you know,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
you get ideas that you wouldn't have had earlier that day. So I think
yeah.
that's awesome.
I'm very much an open book, and I love just sitting down and talking
Yeah.
about whatever. Shooting the poop.
You know, it was almost that. I promise, it was almost that.
Almost so close, so close.
And then like people in chat, if you, I've been thinking about, you know, because to be realistic with all this, I think talking about content creation and streaming, as much as I like it, and I think it can be a good thing, but for some people, I think where they're getting into it is they're trying to learn more about the person I'm interviewing, right? You know, and I think it's easy to talk about the streaming and content creation because one is promoting you, you know, and it's a
Right.
way to promote yourself and everything like that. But I would like to start a series of A Dash of Salt that's going to get more into just life, not like personal. We're not going
Mm.
to be talking like politics or, you know, not that
Yeah.
type of stuff, but just life. Not super deep. It can still be funny and, you know, lighthearted. But if anyone's interested in that type of stuff, please let me know. And if you ever want to be a guest, let me know, because
Yeah.
I like to have those type of conversations as well.
Yeah, man. Hit me up anytime.
Awesome.
I loved it, and so I'm open. I'm
Awesome.
open and ready.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you, everybody in chat, for being here. Have a great night, my man.
Thank you, thank you, thank you for having me.
Oh, no problem. Like I said, anybody that wants to come on, please let me know. Please send them my way because I love these conversations. I think it's really fun, and I learn something every time. But I think we'll end it here. We'll raid out, and then I think we're back tomorrow with Pokemon. We got Pokemon tomorrow. We're starting the new Nuzlocke challenge.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So.
Very nice.
And then when's your next stream, my man?
Right after I end this.
All right. Well, let me get you going so you can get to that.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
No
Thank
problem. Have a great night.
You. Take it easy, Salt.
See ya.
Peace.